welcome to the Brasileirao magazine of round 31. Coming up in the show, leaders on fire. Atletico Mineiro's Hulk and Diego Costa run riot against Corinthians and close in on the title. Green Hammer. Palmeiras score 4 against Atletico Goianis and picked up their 6th win on the trot. Moving away from trouble. Santos see off Red Bull to get away from a drop zone. Lifeline. Gremio beat Fluminense and keep their Serie A hopes alive. Down and out. The inevitable happens as Chapecoense head to the 2nd division. Fantastic goals. Amazing saves. Incredible skills. Now on the Brasileirao magazine. In the opening match of round 31, Gremio took on Fluminense in the arena. The Porto Alegre side had lost to rivals Internacional in the last round and was second from bottom in the table. The Tricolor from here had beaten Sport Recife with a last-minute goal and were looking for more points. The game was played behind closed doors because of trouble involving Gremio fans in the match against Palmeiras. Mancini made 8 changes from the team that had started against Inter. Marcao set up his side with young attacking duo of João Kennedy and Luis Henrique. With only 30 seconds on the clock, Gremio almost scored. The Fluminense's defender slept on the job and Elias Manuel took full advantage to hit a rocket that smashed onto the woodwork. The home team looked dangerous with Elias Manuel. Diego Souza advanced in the middle and struck a beautiful deep pass to the young winger, but Marcos Felipe stopped his shot. Flu responded with Luis Henrique from outside the area. He got his body position right before he finished, but Brennan was alert and made the save. After half-time, Fluminense looked better in the game. After a nice exchange of passes, Marlon received on the left and centred. Caio Paulista nailed a clever shot that found the net, but the assistant referee had spotted an offside, which was confirmed by VAR. But just when Flu were on top, it was Gremio who went in front. Mateus Sarara spotted Diego Souza and the striker headed home to beat Marcos Felipe. Relief and joy for Gremio.
A pinpoint assist from Sarara, a pinpoint header from Diego Souza.
Fluminense let the guile for the equaliser and Gremio held on to the win after 4 losses. A huge 3 points for the Porto Alegre club, but the odds of them surviving the drop remain slim. Fluminense's inconsistency might end up costing them a place in the Libertadores. Only 1 point separated Atletico Paranaense and Ceará as they went head-to-head in the Arena da Baixada, as both teams had their eyes on a spot in next season's international competitions. Atletico had to make do without Leo Cittagini, who was suspended. Alberto Valentim brought in Renato Kaiser and Terence to run the attack. Former Hurricanes coach Thiago Nunes went for speed up front, with Mendoza and Hick asked to put pressure on the opponents. Before the game started, there was a tribute to Atletico's biggest ever star, Barcinho Sicupira, who passed away at the weekend. With the ball rolling, the Hurricanes impressed in the first half and were on top. The first good chance came from Terence, who fired a strong shot at João Ricardo. The only real opportunity from Ceará came from Vina. The midfielder finished from outside the area, but Santos did just enough to save Atletico. Marcinho hit a spectacular pass to Renato Kaiser that split Ceará's defence, and the striker did the rest to make it 1-0 to the home team.
Goal!
Ceará returned from the break, trying to draw level. Mendoza moved on the right and hit a powerful shot. Santos failed to secure the ball and Hick put away the equaliser. The 5th goal from the young winger in the league. But just when Ceará were back in it, their defenders lost the plot and left Pedro Henrique clear. he outleaped everyone else to head the ball into the back of the net. A major mistake from Vasal's backline, and they paid the price. The Hurricanes were then content to sit on their lead as they ran down the clock for another important win, which lifted them into a much more comfortable position in mid-table. Santos took on Red Bull Bragantino in the Vila Belmiro in another crucial match in their fight against the drop. The home side started with Marinho, Lucas Braga and Diego Tardelli in attack. Red Bull had Artur, Queijo, Elinho and Italo all up front. The away side kicked things off with Eric Ramirez. He received the ball outside the area and tricked the defenders before getting in a good shot. Then Santos went on the attack. Zanocelo combined with Pirani, but put his effort wide. Diego Tardelli got the ball outside the area and took a chance at goal. Clayton failed to secure the ball, and Marinho was there to head in to open the score for Santos.
Marinho's there! He heads home. Santos are in front.
At the end of the first half, Ejimar made a terrific run inside the area, but got his angles all wrong with his shot. After the break, Red Bull stepped it up as they went all out for the equaliser. Adelan had a decent chance, but headed over the crossbar. On the 67-minute mark, Italo set up Jadson, who also came very close to putting his side back in the game. Red Bull continued to press, and late on, Gabriel Narvaez got into a good position, but once again failed to find the net. With Santos on the ropes for so long, they suddenly produced a sucker punch. Marinho raced forward and made the most of contact in the area with a theatrical tumble. Sanchez converted the penalty in true style, and the points were safe.
Sanchez blazes that ball into the back of the net. The points are secure.
Another big step towards survival for the club, who've never been relegated. Red Bull lost their third on the bounce. Leaders Atletico Mineiro came up against Corinthians in front of over 60,000 fans in the Mineiro. While Gallo had the title in mind, the Musketeers were thinking about the top four. Cuca had to do without defender Junior Alonso, who was on international duty with Paraguay. But there was plenty of firepower up front, with Hulk, Diego Costa and Keno. Silvinho benched Gabriel Pereira and went with Gustavo Silva, as Renato Augusto continued to play as a makeshift forward. Gallo struck quickly. Diego Costa got the ball in some space and was allowed to move forward before beating Cassio from a long way out.
Atletico Mineiro draw first blood with the former Chelsea man Diego Costa.
The fifth goal for the striker in 13 games. At the end of the first half, there was another good chance for the hosts. Keno found Diego Costa, and the former Spain international set up Hulk, who forced Cassio into an amazing save. Gallo ran the show in Belo Horizonte as Aracho teased defensive midfielder Gabriel with some gorgeous trickery. In the second half, Atletico doubled the score. Renato Augusto lost the ball and Gabriel failed to stop the attack. Keno still had a lot to do when he finally got possession, but he came up with an absolute cracker as the stadium erupted.
Keno! What an absolute stunning strike!
Brilliant from Gallo. Corinthians only created one decent chance throughout the entire game, and that came near the end. Substitute, Gabriel Pereira found Vitinho, who knocked it to Juliano. But the midfielder failed to take advantage of a superb opportunity. It just wasn't to be the Sao Paulo side's night. Next, Jair tried his luck, but Cassio made another big save. Deep into stoppage time came the icing on the cake. Hulk put on an individual show with his own brand of attacking football as he smashed in one of the best goals of the competition.
And he makes it 3-0 for Atletico Mineiro in extraordinary fashion. The cherry on top.
Amazing from Hulk, and his 27th strike on target for Gallo. 40 points out of a possible 45 in the Mineirao and a 13th win on the bounce at home. The title is now just a matter of time for Atletico Mineiro. Palmeiras were going for the 6th straight win in the competition as they took on Atletico Goianiense in the Allianz Parque. Our Ferreira's making his 100th game in charge of Palmeiras, and the fans showed their appreciation. The Portuguese had to make do without Uruguayan Piquerez and Paraguayan Gustavo Gomes, who were on international duty. Eduardo Sosa's side were at full strength. The Dragons got off to a good start. Honnold got away from Marcus Rocha. He then went one-on-one with Weberton, but failed to make the most of a chance. Palmeiras woke up with Dudu. Atletico's defenders made a mistake, and the fan favourite almost gave his side the lead. Next, Weberton started the move when he found Gustavo Scarpa. The midfielder was able to get forward before picking out Rafael Veiga, who once again came up with the goods for the Greens.
For Palmeiras, and it is Rafael Veiga.
In a set piece from the right, Scarpa sent it to Honey. The forward beat the defenders to head home. No chance for Fernando Miguel. 2-0, and the 20th assist from Scarpa in the season. After the break, Palmeiras kept up the pressure. With 60 minutes on the clock, the hosts won a penalty when the ball was handled in the area, as referee Anderson Duronco went to VAR. Man of the match, Gustavo Scarpa hammered the ball home. What a night for the number 14. And there was time for more. Patrick de Paula found Dudu on the right. He moved forward to pick out Breno Lopez.
Breno Lopez with the goal for Palmeiras.
4-0, and a convincing win for the Greens, who've hit form with 6 on the bounce. Atletico Goianiense are now in a real fight for survival. Fortaleza were aiming to secure a top 4 finish and a place in next year's Libertadores as they clashed swords with Sao Paulo in the Arena Castelão. Former Lions coach Rogério Ceni is still a favourite of the club after winning the regional championship twice and earning promotion to the top flight. Voivoda made the surprise inclusion of Lucas Lima in the starting 11. Iago Pikachu was on the bench. Sao Paulo had to make do without Orbeleda and Rigoni, who were on international duty. Bruno Alves and Caleri were the replacements. The host went on the attack with Mateus Jussa, but his shot lacked strength and was an easy save for Volpe. After a good move by De Pietri, Hobson took advantage of the Argentine centre to score. Party time at the Castelão, and the 9th goal from Hobson in the Brasileirao.
Fortaleza 1, São Paulo 0. The duel of the tricolores. Better for the Lions.
The away side thought they'd gone level through Victor Bueno, but an offside was spotted against Bruno Alves. Sao Paulo kept searching for an equaliser, and it came from the foot of Martin Benitez with this incredible free kick that salvaged the point for Rogério Ceni's men.
Goal!
Absolutely perfection on the free kick. Look, no chance at all for Marcelo Boeck on the play.
A share of the spoils and a precious point for the away side. The draw left a bitter taste for Fortaleza, who let the win slip away right at the end of the match. America were in a confident mood when they travelled to Recife to face Sport, who were in desperate need of a win. Gustavo Florencin had the welcome return of Gustavo and Mikael back from suspension. Marquinhos Santos repeated the same formation from the last round with Ademir, Felipe Azevedo and Zarate up front. Sport players were kitted out in tribute to Ademir Jimenez's, an ex-forward who just turned 100. The away side took control of the match from the beginning. Felipe Azevedo received on the left and cut into the middle before centering to Ale, who was free to head home and beat Mailson. 1-0 to the Rabbits in the Arena Pernambuco. Things got even worse for Sport. Gustavo caught Felipe Azevedo with a nasty tackle and was booked by Rafael Klaus. The official then checked VAR and changed the colour of the card to red. That was to prove very costly for the player and his team as Sport went down to 10 halfway through the first period. America were in control and doubled the score shortly after the break. Mateus Cavicchioli sent the ball to Ademir on a counter-attack. The number 10 took advantage of Sport's disarray when he beat Mailson, who was in a bad position. America looking good, and the 8th goal from the player in the Brasileirao. Inexplicably, the Rabbits took their foot off the pedal and let Sport back in the game. With 66 minutes on the clock, Everton received on the right and centred. Mikael got in front of Ricardo Silva to beat Cavicchioli. Goal number 6 for the player in the competition. Minutes later, Zewellison put the teams back on level terms with a well-aimed free kick. 10-man Sport back in the match and game on in the arena.
Zewellison! Arena Pernambuco on fire. Beautiful free kick by Zewellison.
But the home fans' joy was short-lived. Adjemir and Patricky moved forward. The fullback centred and Juninho Valora headed in to the back of the net. Mailson at fault as his side crumbled to yet another defeat. Disaster for Sport, but a terrific 3 points for America as they edge towards guaranteeing their top-flight status. Juventude and Internacional had very different goals when they locked horns in the Alfredo Jaconi. Jair Ventura's team started with Wagner instead of Wesley. After scoring the winner in the last round, Tyson was out of the game due to a shoulder injury. Palacios stepped in. The first opportunity came when Bruno Mendes got it all wrong. Ricardo Bueno got the ball, but Marcelo Lomba saved the day. Guilherme Castillo then had a go, but Lomba was proving hard to beat in the Inter goal. The Colorado responded when Palacios found Mauricio and the midfielder struck the post with a low shot. After a scoreless first 45, the goals flowed in the second half. Castillo centred in a free kick to Darwan, who headed home. The goal stood after an initial offside but was given after a VAR check. Juve 1-0 up.
Juventude opens the scoreline with the one after the VAR check.
The hosts doubled the score when Sorriso centred from the left. Paulo Victor came flying in, only to send the ball into his own net. Juventude were in control of the game. But Paulo Victor redeemed himself just 2 minutes later when he delivered a perfect cross for Matheus Cadarini to give Inter some late hope.
Internacional getting the first one here at Alfredo Jaconi.
Juventude though held on for a priceless win, but they remained in the bottom 4. Internacional have lost form and the pack below are closing in. Flamengo and Bahia wrapped up the round in a controversial match in the Maracanã that produced 3 goals and 3 red cards. With the final of the Libertadores just around the corner, Renato Portaluppi put out a mix of regulars and squad players that included David Luiz, Andreas Pereira and Gabriel Barbosa. Guto Ferreira brought in Edson, with the experienced Gilberto leading the line. This was a good night for Gabi as the striker clocked up his 100th goal for Flamengo, albeit in controversial circumstances. David Luiz had the first chance as he hit the side netting, and that got the fans going. Minutes later came the first contentious moment. Diego went for a bicycle kick and the ball struck Conchi. After a VAR check, the referee came to the conclusion it was handball and awarded the penalty. Gabi converted to give the Rubro-Negros the lead and slot away number 100.
Historic moment for Gabriel Barbosa Gabigol. 100 goals for Flamengo.
Then came another blow for the away side. Matheus Bahia brought down Vitinho and then received a second yellow. Bahia down a goal and down to 10. But the side from the northeast tried to make a game of it. Conchi pulled off a nice pass to Nino Paraíba, who prompted a difficult save from Hugo. Flamengo killed off the game in the second half when Vitinho caused problems before sending the ball across the area for the tireless Michael to turn in. What a season for the number 19 as he scored his 11th of the campaign.
Second half in the Temple of Football, Flamengo 2, Bahia 0.
In an eventful night, Rossi and Diego then got their marching orders as the pressure mounted. Up next, Vitinho took a chance with his right, Danilo Fernandes made the stop and Conchi cleared. Flamengo then further punished Bahia when Andreas Pereira found a gap to make it 3-0.
Outstanding performance for the midfield and a great finish for Andreas Pereira, a masterpiece in the Temple of Football.
4 goals in 19 games for the man on loan from Manchester United. Game over in the Maracanã and Flamengo went third. Bahia coach Guto Ferreira had every right to complain about some very shoddy refereeing decisions. And there could be more trouble to come as the strugglers play the league leaders in the next round. Keno from Atletico Mineiro is the owner of goal number 3 in this round. The Gallo winger nailed a rocket from outside the area into the top corner, beating Cassio.
Wow! What an absolute rocket straight into the top corner. Here's the replay. Keno smashes it into the top corner.
An exquisite goal from Keno. A magical set piece is in second place. Sao Paulo midfielder Benitez struck this with perfection to guarantee a spot in our top 3 this week. One of the most stunning free kicks of the season from Benitez.
A masterpiece in the Arena Castelão for Martí Benitez. Fortaleza 1, Sao Paulo 1. What a wonderful free kick.
In first place, another goal from the hammering Atletico Mineiro imposed on Corinthians, and a masterpiece from Hulk. Gallo striker brushed off the defenders and finished at the end of the game with an amazing goal. Another fantastic strike and another award for Hulk, the winner of the best goal in round 31. The round's best save came from Cassio of Corinthians. After a wonderful pass from Diego Costa to Hulk, the top scorer forced Cassio to make an amazing stop as he prevented what would have been Atletico's second goal in the match.
Oh, look at that save by Costa. That was just stunning, how hard it was.
Cassio, owner of the best save in round 31. This is how good this game was. Atletico Mineiro Zaracho gets our vote for the most spectacular skill of the round. Gallo's Argentine managed to pull off a double nutmeg on the Corinthians midfielder Gabriel. A genius move from Zaracho, leaving the Corinthians man with egg on his face.
Nice little display of skill. See you later, Gabriel.
And another one.
A second nutmeg.
Let's take a look at the players and the coach who caught our eye in round 31. Between the sticks, we've gone for Breno of Gremio. At right back, Patricky from América Mineiro. Our 2 central defenders are Hever from Atletico Mineiro and David Luiz of Flamengo. At left back, William Mateus from Juventus. In midfield, Andreas Pereira, Flamengo. Gustavo Scarpa, Palmeiras. Zaracho, Atletico Mineiro. Our 3-pronged attack consists of Diego Costa from Atletico Mineiro, Marinho Santos, and Hulk of Atletico Mineiro. Kuka is our coach in round 31. The best player of round 31 is Palmeiras maestro Gustavo Scarpa. During the 4-0 crushing of Atletico Goianiense in the Allianz Parque, the midfielder from the Libertadores finalists scored a goal and made 2 very good assists. For being the key mover in the Greens win, Gustavo Scarpa gets the plaudits and our vote for the best player in round 31 of the Brasileirao Açaí.
He is the best player of the game, Gustavo Scarpa. 2 assists and 1 goal now. He deserved this.
Back in the top 4, After the draw with Sao Paulo, Fortaleza climbed one position and returned to the top 4 of the competition. Voivoda's team are well in the battle to secure a spot in the Libertadores for the first time in the club's history. Relegated. Round 31 saw Chapecoense crash out of the top flight of Brazilian football. Santos' win over Red Bull Bragantino condemned last season's Série B champions to at least another year in the second division. In the run-in to the end of the championship, Atletico Mineiro took another step forward as they stayed 10 points ahead of second-place Palmeiras. Defending champions Flamengo are in third and with a game in hand. Fortaleza make up the top 4. Bragantino and Corinthians are in 5th and 6th respectively. Moving down to the sides who are not yet completely out of trouble, Giant Santos and Sao Paulo are both on 38. Bahia are just outside the bottom 4 on 36. Juventus, Sport Recife, Gremio and the relegated Chapecoense make up the teams in the bottom 4. Round 32 of the Brasileirao starts on Saturday with Atletico Goianiense Santos, América Mineiro Gremio, Internacional Atletico Paranaense, Red Bull Bragantino Fortaleza and Corinthians against Cuiabá. On Sunday, Sao Paulo take on Flamengo, Fluminense face Palmeiras, Ceará come up against Sport Recife and Chapecoense clash swords with Juventus. Round 32 concludes on the 2nd of December when Bahia go head-to-head with leaders Atletico Mineiro. That's it for this week. We hope you're enjoying our coverage of the toughest, most exciting league in the Americas, and we'll be back next week with more action from the Brasileirao.